Hey guys, Garrett here, and today I want to see if we can improve the sound quality for these videos that I make. You probably don't know this, but I built a room inside of my shop just so that I could make these videos, and we're in it. So it's a 10-foot wide by 16-foot long rectangular room. And so far I've tried several different things, from egg crate deals like this, little sound absorption panels, to some towels just hanging on the wall, to, I don't know, a bunch of different things, just having things sitting on the floor. I did texture the ceilings as well as the walls whenever I built the room, so hopefully that helps a little bit, but regardless, if you can't tell, there's quite a bit of an echo in here, and I'd like to see if I can eliminate it. And so I'm going to do an experiment for you guys. I've actually watched several other videos on YouTube, and there's a guy out there that did a bunch of different tests on different methods. One of them being these egg crate things, and another one being basically sound absorption panels made out of towels. And it turned out that the towels were the best way to go. So I'm going to make 6 of those for my room and see if it does any better. The camera that I'm using is a Canon M50, and I'm not using the microphone that's built into it. I got a Rode Video Micro external microphone that I mount to the top of the camera. And I will say, the sound quality with it is definitely a lot better than with the camera. But regardless, I'm definitely limited by what's going on in my room. Alright, so here's a bit more of the studio that I've got. So if you can't tell, there are concrete floors, which sure don't help anything, but I found at my dad's house some carpets that I could lay down, so I figured that would help a little bit. And then, so far there's not a lot on the walls. My intent is to put a lot more decor on there, which by itself will help. But behind me, then you get to my lighting. I have a moving blanket on a stick over here, a big giant bed egg crate thing, some towels just put on the walls all the way around. Trying to do at least a few things that can improve the sound in here. But let's be realistic. These are not very attractive, and honestly they just don't work very well. So I'm going to see if I can do a little better. To make these sound absorption panels, we want to keep it pretty darn simple. So I just went to my home store, got some 2x2 lumber, cut it to the length of the towels that I bought, which I bought a bunch of towels just at Walmart. My suggestion would be not necessarily to get the absolute cheapest towels, because they're going to be very thin. You want a little bit of thickness with it, so get maybe the next one up. So the cheapest was around $2, and then the next one up was around $3. So I got mostly the $3 one. So I cut everything to length based off of the size of my towels, and just screwed them together right at the ends. And so far, very, very simple. 4 screws and 2 8-foot lengths worth of 2x2s. I made my frame 26.5 inches wide by 53 inches long. And what you do is you start with 5 towels, and again, you can go buy them at the store, or hey, if you have any that you can pillage from your own house, go ahead and use those too. Start with the first 5, drape them over your frame, and then we're going to use an air-powered stapler to staple it to the insides of these frames. This is going to be the backing slash fill for this sound absorption panel. After you've set your towels in place, make sure they are centered both lengthways as well as sideways, and then go ahead and put staples all along one side, and that's just to hold it in place. Once you do that, go straight to the other side right in the middle. Just grab the whole thing, pull it tight, and then put a staple right there. And then continue. Just work your way towards the outside, work your way towards the outside. Alright, so now I have both sides stapled in place. You can see this is stapled on the back side. I pulled it nice and tight, and then I went to one end to start, went ahead and pulled everything nice and tight, and then stapled all along that side. Next, I'm going to do the same thing right here. Again, grab the whole set of towels, pull it nice and tight, and put your staples in. Now we have these 5 towels stapled to the frame that I made. They're nice and tight, and you can see everything. What we're actually looking at is the back side of the panel. So you notice we do have some extra material. Actually, I just leave it. Or if you wanted to, you could fold it over and put a staple in it, or you could just cut it off with some really sharp scissors. But you'll also notice right at the corners, you've got a bunch of extra material, and that one's a tough one to get to stay whenever you fold it over. So I just cut these off and make it look just like this. So when I fold it over, everything stays right in place and it doesn't then stand out on the wall whenever I put it up. Now everything is stapled in place. I had a little extra on this side, so I went ahead and folded it over, put a few staples along the side just to make sure that it wasn't going to push me off of the wall, and did it on that side just a little bit, and then had a little extra here on the top as well. I've seen some people go ahead and sew these together, and I just don't see the point whenever you can staple them together. It's a heck of a lot faster just to staple them than it is to sew them together, and they're going to stay in place just the same. So the main thing is that your towels are a little bit bigger than what the frame size is, so that you can have that extra, grab that bunch and put that staple in. I used an air-powered staple gun just like this, but you can use a hand stapler as well. It should work just as fine. I had this and it was faster, so that's what I used. Here's what the panel looks like flipped over. So that's what will be the front side. So the next step is to take your final towel, go ahead and lay it on top of your table. Now this towel is actually 30 inches by 60 inches, so it is bigger, and the reason is we're going to fold it over the sides of those 2x2s so that you have a nice clean front as well as side. Now I've laid it on top of this bigger towel, so you want to try to center it both lengthways as well as sideways, and you want to make sure that you've got enough towel that you can overlap to the back. Again, you want to have a nice clean side on this. Once you do that, go ahead and start putting staples in place. Once you have your far side stapled, make sure again that you staple that nice and straight. Come to this other side, pull it around, and make sure you pull it fairly tight. You want to try to get as many of the wrinkles out of it as you can. I did my sides first, so now I'll go to the ends and start putting staples in. Again, pull it fairly tight. As you can see, we have a little left over here. Again, we're going to cut this off so that everything will fold over nicely. And then just take your gun and fold this over, and then I just put one staple right at the edge here. It gives you a pretty nice clean edge. Once all 4 corners are done, go ahead and get your picture wire. I just went to Lowe's, got some of this, and then actually I just staple it in place. And then fold it back on top of itself and put another staple in. And any extra, just wind around. A lot of times I'll just put a knot in it to start with. And then wind around. And then cut off whatever extra you don't want to use. Go to the other side, do the same thing. And that's it. That is the final product. That's what it looks like on the other side. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it, guys? And you don't have to use white towels. You can use whatever colored towels you want to use, but that's what I wanted. I wanted it to reflect light as well as absorb sound. So white is what I went with. I just got them all hung up, and this is what the final product looks like. For me, these aren't going to be seen by anyone or be in the camera, so one thing you could do if you wanted to is iron each towel, but to be honest, I think they look pretty darn good. There's one, there's another one, there's two of them stacked, another one right over there, and then that's the sixth one. So basically I have 4 of them in front of me and 2 of them right next to me, and that's right where I sit. And if you remember on the wall I had that egg crate thing. I went ahead and stapled that to the bottom of my desk. Figured it wouldn't be a bad idea to have kind of a mid-room break as far as sound waves go. Now I'm back in my normal seated position whenever I make these videos for you guys. So this is what it sounds like after I've put up those sound absorption panels. Is it any better? So this sound right here is the before. As you can tell, it's quite echoey. And this is after with 6 sound absorption panels. And one more time, if you can't tell just how echoey it is, let's see if it's any better. And this is after. I still have a little more work to do on the acoustics in here, specifically behind me. As I get more furniture, things like that put back there, I think that'll deflect some more of the sound waves. I know the front part of this room is actually pretty good, but the back part is still just an empty box. Even so, I do think there is a difference, and I think it was probably worthwhile. So again, I made 6 of these panels. It took 36 total towels. I had 3 of them myself, so I went out and I bought 33 more. And then I had to buy 2 8-foot long 2-inch by 2-inch boards for each panel. So total I had 12 boards that I had to buy. I had to buy some staples, and then I also had to buy some of the hanging wire to actually hang them on my walls. So the total money that I spent on this was $154.08. If you were to build 6 of these panels just like I did and you had to buy all of the towels, again, I had 3 of my own, add another 10 to 12 bucks to it, but it's not that terribly much more. And remember that these panels don't just have to be for a person like me making YouTube videos. If you have a home office or you're doing a bunch of Zoom meetings in the days of COVID, most likely our office does not have very good acoustics. So this is a great way to improve the audio in your room. Let me know down in the comments whether you think this was worthwhile. Again, it cost 154 bucks and it took about 2 hours of my time. So, is it worth it? Does it make your viewing experience better? My goal is to help you guys out, and I want your experience to be a very positive one. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the like button. I'll see you guys next time.